Hey, it's Douglas James. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how to identify and understand your own biases and how do you modify your behavior going forward when you get new information. All right. So this video, I'm going to go really deep. It's a topic not most people talk about, but I think it's probably the most crucial thing that you can do as a business owner, as a person, as a husband, as a mother, as a wife, as a parent, in order to really get over yourself and understand what's most important moving forward, right? This is all about finding the most efficient path forward in everything that you do, right? So make sure you give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe and hit that notification bell because I'm coming out with videos all the time around business, financial literacy, and leadership. All right, so this video is actually going to be an excerpt from one of my coaching calls that I did with my community. This is part of that series that we've been doing on the channel, and it's been highly successful. So I really appreciate the support that you guys give in the channel with these videos. So make sure you grab a notepad and pen, make sure you take notes, and here we go, and I'll see you right after the video. I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about biases. Do you guys know what a bias is? It's basically like a prejudged notion of how you see the world based off of your reality or history. It's not necessarily like how it is, right? So a lot of us there's tons of different biases. You guys can look into them. There's loss aversion, there's confirmation biases, mental accounting biases, anchoring biases, and recency biases. These are things to really consider and look out for because these biases control your behavior. Your human mind really comes from a survival instinct. It's really fear-based. It could care less about your growth or success. It just wants to breathe, right? And if it feels frightened, it wants to run, right? So obviously you can't thrive as a business owner or as a parent or as a husband or a wife operating from your human mindset because you'll just crash and burn super fast and you'll have zero credibility and nobody would really wants to be around you or spend time with you or give you their attention, right? So trying to be a successful business owner and run an agency or raise a kid or whatever, approaching from the human mindset ultimately would lead to failure. It's just the way it is. But approaching the conversation and the situations from the champion's mind, which is the other side of it, it allows you to become a repeat winner and understand the formula that it takes to consistently do great, right? And the only way to operate on the champion side of the house is to use applied wisdom, So every day we're faced with hundreds and thousands of decisions, right? A lot of them are involuntary. Like you gotta blink, you gotta breathe, you have to go to the restroom, right? Those other decisions where you have to really put some thought into it, right? Should I get off the couch and make some calls, send some emails, and speak to this client and try to close this deal, or watch these videos and try to educate myself or not, or go watch Netflix? Instead of doing all that stuff, maybe I should just go do Netflix and just chill, like I've had a long day, right? So it's always like a fork in the road. Like when I look at all the decisions that I make, it's really approaching every decision either from the human mind or from the champion mind. And I always have to remind myself, what would a champion do right now? Would a champion just skip out on adding another $2,000 to $3,000 a month in income right now? Or would they just go watch Netflix and eat a donut, right? So every decision that you have come faced with, it's basically approaching it from a survival instinct or from a thriving place of abundance. Using wisdom, right? So we have all these different biases that really hold us back, and stories that we tell ourselves on why we can't do something or why we can't move forward, right? Understanding that part of the conversation, understanding that part of the process, if you can get past that barrier of entry, on the other side of that is so much growth. It allows you to actually go out and prospect and close deals and set up ads or whatever it is that you need to do, to be successful in business. But we are our own enemy, right? It's the person, a lot of us, when something goes wrong, we want to point the finger instead of looking in the mirror. If we can just do that much, that's half the battle, understanding that we are naturally going to approach situations from a survival instinct, and a lot of times we feel like them, but we're a victim to our own demise, victim to our own human mindset, our human hardwiring. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but it is a 24-hour, 7-day a week, 365 a year battle that you have to fight amongst yourselves, inside of you. Me too. Same thing. Like every time something happens, I have to say, okay, what's my options, and why is this? What's the meaning of this? It's like the two things. What's the meaning of this, and what are my options? I don't just make an erratic, impulsive decision, right? Like something bad happens. I've been in the situations where like something bad happens, or someone sends you an email you don't like, or something like that. Your immediate thing, want to be impulsive and just like write back, F you or whatever, send a nasty email. But what does that solve? That's not really pushing the puck forward. All that does is just show that you're an impulsive, negative person operating out of your survival human hardwiring. And that's okay. As long as you can understand that and accept it, because I do the same thing. We're all responsible for it. Maybe you guys might call me crazy. All right, that's fine. You don't need to listen to me talk about this stuff, but there's plenty of data and research into what I'm talking about, right? And psychology, if you guys read Psycho-Cybernetics, or any of these books that I mentioned to you guys, it's all there. It's all in our human history. And that's another thing too, is like most people don't like to hear this kind of stuff or accept it to be true, because it does go against their belief system, their biases, right? Because these are the stories that they've been telling themselves for years and years and years. So when they hear information that's different than that, they immediately write it off as false. But doing that does not set you up for success, because receptivity and being open to new ideas, new processes and things, that's how you really are able to explore, so that you can get that golden nugget or information or piece of software that you need to take to the next level. So there's something called a bimodal risk strategy. If you guys can picture like a dumbbell, like if you ever go to the gym, they got the dumbbells, 5 pounds up to like 50 pounds, some 100 pounds. You have like two weights on each side, and there's a bar in the center, right? I need to get like a whiteboard in here or something. But if you picture the dumbbell, you got on the left side, you have the exploration, all right? So let's say it's a 50-pound dumbbell. You got 25 pounds over here, 25 over here, and there's a bar where you put your handle. So on the left side, you have the exploration, right? And on the right side, you have exploit, right? And in the middle, you have the conversion process, right? So the bar that you hold is the conversion. So if you're constantly operating in the exploration space, and if you set up a team and systems and processes to take everything that you're finding while you're exploring to convert it into and exploit it into a sustainable system, that's how you could create long-term success and longevity, like in business and team building, even in relationships. So that's why I always say, as much as you need to spend time in the exploit phase, in the conversion exploit phase. If you're trying to go to the next level, right? The 10 figure, geez, that's $1 billion. The 5-figure mark, right? Like 10,000 a month, 25,000, 50. Like that's kind of how you climb the ladder from a financial place, right? You have to spend time exploring. I think a lot of us forget there is a time to explore, then there's a time to exploit, right? And it's okay to go back and forth. But the real magic is when you can actually stay in the exploration side of that dumbbell and then have a team and convert it into a sustainable system. So now you're not just converting and exploiting, right? And if you're just starting out, don't let that overwhelm you. When I first started, there was a massive exploration phase, and I realized, oh, this is a really cool thing. Let me try to figure out how to exploit it. I need to convert into a sustainable system. Just because you know about these biases, it doesn't mean that automatically, you're going to change. You have to obviously use the applied wisdom. Anything that I might share, or anything that a situation that might occur like in your own personal lives, you have to be able to take the information. If it's a decision or a fork in the road or a crossroads, you have to be able to pause yourself, analyze all the options. What does this mean? Okay, analyze all your options, and then you decide using applied wisdom. If you just make an erratic, impulsive decision, you'll probably not get the result that you're trying to achieve. So the G.I. Joe fallacy, like I said, basically says that, yeah, you can be aware of these biases, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're automatically going to know, what to do in every situation or understand that these biases. The game is understanding what your biases are and using the applied wisdom as they come. Because a lot of us here is like, oh, I know what that, like people will say, oh, I know about that. Yeah, I know about that. Right? You ever tell somebody something and they're like, oh yeah, I know about that. Oh yeah, I get it. I know about it. It's like, no, you don't, because you keep making the same dumb decision over and over again. You might have heard it, but are you actually applying it? I know people like that. Like, as soon as you tell them something, they're like, oh yeah, I know that. It's like, no, you don't really know it, because that's why I'm telling you, because you keep doing the same dumb thing over and over again. Like, what are you trying to? What's the result you're trying to affect here, right? If we want to get like to the bare bone bottom line of all this kind of stuff, you need to always make the best decision that's best for you and your family. I would probably say for you personally, right? Even if it's unpopular, obviously we want to consider our family and our decisions. We don't want to put them at risk. Actually, they might sometimes have more of a weight than our own personal wants and needs. For example, I invest in a lot in crypto, and I make a lot of moves in crypto, and it's very accepted now. Like, people know about it, right? But a lot of people don't get involved because they feel like it's very risky, which it is. Having a business is risky. Getting in your car is risky. Like, there's risks with everything, but you must use that applied wisdom, and you're probably going to make a mistake in the beginning and you might even lose a little money. Hopefully it's not a crazy amount, but as my mentor tells me all the time, we want to mitigate as many scars as possible. And the way we do that is to play our game, understand our biases. When we're at a fork in the road or at a crossroads, analyze all the options. What does this mean to me? And then use applied wisdom to make the best decision you can for yourself. And it may not be the popular decision, but it's the best one for you. And making the unpopular decision for yourself is playing your game, because if you make a decision that's the popular one that everyone's doing, so you're conforming to what everyone's doing, right? But it may not be like the best thing for you, then you're not playing your game, you're playing someone else's game. So, you have one at bat at this thing. There's only one of you in all creation. Let's make the best decision for you, not because of what someone else did. All right, I hope you really enjoyed that video and got some value. These are very, very important topics that I think is relevant to anybody that's in business, that's starting a marketing agency, that's making online investments. And I really hope you took some notes and able to implement a lot of what I talked about in the video. So make sure you do give the video a thumbs up, give it a like. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Hey, coming out with videos all the time around business, financial literacy, and leadership. And I'm really, really excited for your growth and your journey that you've been on here on my channel. These videos are designed to help entrepreneurs and new entrepreneurs navigate the space of online business so they can make better decisions and find the most efficient path forward. All right. Again, hey, my name is James. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I will be seeing you in my next video. Thanks.